Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the new 2024 Tacoma. There's an issue that's been reported just recently about the brake caliper pin retention clip coming loose, and so we're going to talk about this. Now, the particular vehicle we're talking about that this happened on is the 2024 Tacoma TRD Off-Road, but it shouldn't matter. They're all built in Mexico. Their engines and powertrains are built in Alabama, and then the rest is shipped to Mexico for completion. And there's an issue with these front brake caliper retention pins. So this could be dangerous. You're going to have to decide. We're going to take a look here at this image. And if you're not mechanically inclined, this might seem confusing, but I'll make it easy for you. This silverish pin is your retention pin for your front brake calipers. There's one on the top there, and there's one down here on the bottom. This is the pin here where the mouse is, and you can see there's a head, just like a nail head on one side. And this is how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to sit pretty much flush with the body of the brake caliper there. But if we go up here, you can see that this retention pin has backed out what looks to be about 1/4 of an inch. It should not be backed out this far at all. And what happened here is quite simple. It's a assembly error at the plant in Mexico. Now, if we look down here, we can see this is the other end of that pin, and there's a hole in it. And the this pin here, this retention clip, is a thinner pin. If you follow the mouse, it goes down through a hole, and it keeps this end from backing out, working its way loose. But if we go up top here, where the problem is, you can see what happened. Where the mouse is the retention clip, and it's supposed to go through the hole up here where the mouse is. There's a hole in the larger retention pin, but the retention clip missed it. So in assembly in Mexico, whoever put this in just completely missed the hole. Now, if you don't know what these paint marks are, these are QC checks where the mouse is, these kind of green marks. So somebody checked off on this that it was good, but as you can see, this is backed out. This end of the pin should be sticking forward about 1/4 of an inch. And here's some green QC marks. So this is checked off on by humans. And down here where it's correct, you can see it's checked off with green, but up top they missed something. So this particular pin is not unique to Toyota. It's used on many models. This is what you're looking at again. So you can see here you have a nail head side, and here's your retention pin, and then your retention clip. This is supposed to go through the hole on this side. There's a hole here, hole there, and that's what holds it in. That's what keeps this larger retention pin from backing out. Here we can see the retention pin on a similar Lexus vehicle. Toyota's been using this system for years now. So here's the upper pin where the mouse is. And on this particular model, this is, I believe, a Lexus GX 460, an older one. And you can see the retention pin down here. But on this Lexus GX 460, instead of using that longer, big pin that goes top to bottom, they simply use a cotter pin on the top to go through that little tiny hole, and another cotter pin on the bottom. And if we watch, you'll see that to get it loose, he's going to just stick his pick in there, and he's going to get this, yank this pin out. This retention clip, I should say. There's the clip. Out it comes, and now this larger, he's going to do the bottom, and out it comes. So this is what this person with their new Tacoma is dealing with. This pin could back out. See how he's pulling it right there? So that's what you're at risk of right there, that retention clip working or not being there, and then the pin working itself loose. And then that bolt being able to be, retention pin. Sorry, there's a lot of pins and clips here. But you can see him pulling it back. But the guy with the 2024 Tacoma TRD Off-Road, his pin is backed out. And you can see this is the wheel side. So he risks a couple things. As he pulls the pin out here, this is what this person is dealing with. This pin can back itself out, and it's obvious that there could be issues with the brakes, and it could be a safety issue. Also, this pin could hit the inside of the alloy wheel on that Tacoma and also cause damage or issues or who knows what. The bottom line is it's not good. So why did this happen? Well, we're going to talk about it in a second. Here's the actual retention pin that Toyota uses, if you want to know what it looks like. But the retention clip completely missed the hole. All right, as mentioned, the Tacoma is made mostly in Mexico. The engine and powertrain are made in Alabama. Then it's all shipped down to Mexico. And as I said in the past, these things aren't made in Japan anymore. I know Tacomas were always made in North America, Mexico being part of North America. But as everybody knows, Toyota is a Japanese company, and most of their vehicles used to be made in Japan. So it is a assembly issue. That's why this person is having an issue, reporting an issue with their brake caliper retention clip, because it's made in Mexico, and quite frankly, Mexican and American assembly workers are not up to the same standards as Japanese assemblers are. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, these Tacomas have been, these 24 Tacomas have had a few issues, and I've blamed the assembly process, not the manufacturing process. And people have commented on this channel and say, how is that possible? You know, all they have to do is assemble it. Surely it's a manufacturing error on the part of the manufacturers making the parts. The problems happen in the assembly process, on the assembly line. It's very, very simple to miss something, to over-torque something, to under-torque something, to forget to put in this retention clip that we're looking right here, or any of these other retention clips, or any of the other zillions of things that need to be assembled. A simple under-torquing will make a part back out and cause a catastrophic, potentially, failure. So the Tacoma recently broke its ADD when going off-road, and it's part of its front differential, basically automatic hub locker, and I called it an assembly error, because if you do one thing wrong in the assembly, parts back out and things fly apart. It's just as simple as that. When you crawl under your car and you see all these markers on every bolt and lines, and you go, what is all that? That's all the QC marks, supposedly making sure that some human has laid eyes and hands and ears and whatever senses need to be employed in order to make sure this stuff was put in correctly, so this right here doesn't happen. So we don't have a caliper slide pin backed off a 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 an inch, ready to back its way completely out and cause a catastrophe on a brand new top-of-the-line 2024 Tacoma TRD Off-Road trim. And when those mistakes happen because they're not up to Japanese assembly standards, absolutely catastrophic things happen. The assemblers cause the problems, period. That's how stuff flies apart. That's how stuff fails catastrophically. Yes, I know, the Tundra and the Tacoma have been made in Mexico and North America and the United States forever. The issue is that was an old assembly line with an old model that had been around for years, and the workers were used to doing the same thing over and over for the same model for years at a time. But when you introduce a new model, everything has to get relearned. That muscle memory from the old model is gone and has to be readapted and reapplied to the new model. In other words, the assembly workers, even though it's a good assembly plant, have to relearn their task or skill or function all over again, and that's when mistakes are likely to happen. So now we got a new model. We've got the 2024 TRD, but TRD Off-Road Tacoma, but the assembly workers now have to do things differently. And I know it's just a brake caliper slider pin retention clip, but it's a whole new vehicle. It's a whole new generation of Tacoma, and they have to get used to that. And this is where this saying that you've heard over and over of don't buy the first or second year model of a new generation vehicle, this is where this proves to be correct. And it's a little bit scary when you think about it, because this person said they were in the middle of installing some sort of leveling kit and they noticed a front brake caliper issue. They're glad they caught it before it backed all the way out and chewed up their rim or worse. I suggest a couple of you guys take a moment to verify that yours are installed correctly. And that's what this video is about. Unseen assembly errors like this that could be damaging or at the worst hurt somebody or injure somebody or worse. This is the type of stuff that happens when you take assembly out of Japan and put it in North America. This is what you get. And so this video today is serving again to amplify what this post is trying to amplify, which is there's a problem, get out and check this stuff. This guy is mechanically inclined, so he's taking his stuff apart and he's checking stuff. Most people aren't mechanically inclined and are going to have no idea if their retention pins on their 2024 Tacomas are installed properly or not. So this video is hopefully going to reach Toyota. They're on the internet. This is 2024. Their agents are watching this video right now, if they haven't already seen this internet forum post about this issue. So they're watching, and the hopes are that Toyota watches this video and gets down to Mexico and corrects this issue before someone gets hurt. This shouldn't be happening. This is a classic example of assembly errors about to cause havoc. A seemingly simple thing such as missing a pin causes catastrophe. Manufacturing of the part itself, so if we look, for instance, at the pin itself, if we look at the pins and clips themselves, the manufacturer, it's not going to screw this up. It's very hard to screw this up. It's automated. It's paced. It's timed. It's not under the rush environment of American, or shall I say non-Japanese, assembly processes. Assembly processes outside of Japan are rush. Don't stop the line. Whatever you do, you better be missing a finger if you're going to stop the production line. Otherwise, you're fired. That doesn't happen in manufacturing. Those robots can make this stuff as slow or fast as they want, and they have stockpiles of it. They're not under any rush to make this sort of stuff. So manufacturing of parts, not saying they don't have defects. I'm saying the issue is not in the manufacturing. The issue's right here. It's Friday night. The soccer game is on. There's some cervezas being served at the bar. There's going to be a fiesta, a party. It's all good. Mark that thing off with green paint and get it out the door. Whatever you do, don't stop that production line or you're going to get a demerit and get fired. So it gets marked off like you see here, ready to hurt someone. The Japanese work culture is the complete opposite of that. They will stop the line. They will take pride in being meticulous and making sure every last detail is squared away before they go home for the weekend, the 3-day holiday, their vacation, whatever. That's just the culture. That's just what it is. That's why everybody likes made in Japan. So if you've got a 2024 Tacoma, please double check your front caliper retention pin clips to make sure they don't look like the owner of this 2024 Tacoma's retention pin retainer clips do. I know that's a lot of wording, but I do want to get it out that this could be an important safety issue. It's up for you to decide, but I certainly wouldn't feel comfortable riding around in this, or a family member or children riding around in this. Would you? That's something to think about. Get under there, under your vehicle if you have one. If you can't, take it into Toyota for them to double check this. And hopefully Toyota's watching this and will correct the issue, and if needed, do some sort of recall. They take pictures at the assembly plant in Mexico, meaning digital images of a lot of these QC processes, so they have a photograph of how many calipers went out the factory door like this, with their clip missing like that. So hopefully Toyota's working towards a solution and everybody is safe. If you found this video helpful, useful, or entertaining, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.